right now, type in, or if you're on Amazon, just type in As You Wish and Cary Elwes. For some reason, there's like 3 other As You Wishes out there. Those guys are imposters, trying to exploit those 3 words for their own purposes. But the one that says As You Wish, Inconceivable Tales from the Making of Princess Bride, that's the book I want you to click on right now. You guys on that page?
Trying to get there.
Okay, go to the one-click pre-order. By the way, if you one-click pre-order, it's $16, which is insane. I think Amazon made a mistake because there's no way they can make money by selling this book for 16 bucks, I'm telling you right now. But before they realize their foolish mistake, I would like you guys to get in on the ground floor and get a deal on this book. So, are you guys all on the one-click pre-order right now? Let's try and do it all on the count of 3 and see if we can do it. Okay, ready? 1. Ready? You guys, who's not ready? All right, we'll wait till all of you are ready. When everybody's ready, anyone who's not ready, just keep your hand up until you're ready. If you can do it.
It's $11.89.
Huh? It's $11.89 for what? For Kindle? It's a bargain. That's a bargain. That's cool. All right, everybody ready? No, not ready over there? Almost?
Oh, slow internet.
Oh, it's on? Are you on Verizon or something? I'm kidding. I'm on Magic Jack. What do I know? Are we good? All right, here we go. On 3, ready? Pre-order one-click on Kindle or on the book on 3. 1, 2, 3.
That's the sound of Amazon crash.
There you go. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. What you have just purchased is the definitive behind-the-scenes look at the making of The Princess Bride. And I was very fortunate in that the whole cast decided that they would accept being a part of this book. And so, you know, Mandy's in it, Robin Wright, Billy Crystal saying things like, "This is all lies, I was there, don't listen to him." Rob Reiner, Bill Goldman, Andy Scheinman, the producer. So there's some wonderful, wonderful stories. Obviously, there's some great memories of the late, great Andre the Giant. And yeah, you can give him a round of applause. I'm sure come question time, you guys will want to ask some questions about the book and stuff, so I'll save it for that. But simply put, I feel very blessed that this book was handed to me. And by the way, I want to say on behalf, I think I can fairly say this safely, on behalf of the entire cast of this movie, that we feel unbelievably blessed that this film has resonated with all of you over these years. I mean, for us, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. When this movie came out, it barely made its money back, you know, because the marketing department of Fox had no idea how to sell it. They didn't know what this movie was when they watched it. Was it a kid's movie? Was it an adult movie? Was it a comedy? Was it a fantasy? Was it an adventure film? A love story? Whatever. They had
All the above.
All of the above. Smart man. And that's exactly, but you picture yourself being in the marketing room of Fox where they're going, well, we've never had a movie that had this many genres to play with. Which one do we focus on? In the end, they picked a one-sheet that was kind of like a Maxfield Parrish type thing with Peter Falk as the grandfather reading to Fred Savage in a rocking chair. And when Rob Reiner unfurled that one-sheet on the plane back from the Toronto Film Festival, we were all like, wow, really? That's how they're going to sell it? And of course, that really wasn't a great, I mean, obviously the grandfather telling stories is a very sweet, beautiful part of the film, don't get me wrong, but it really wasn't a fair, you know, representation, let's face it, of The Princess Bride. So naturally, when it came out, we didn't even have a TV spot. In fact, the first TV spot that Fox put together was so misleading, they pulled it after like 3 days. So we didn't even have the internet back then, which by the way, if we had, we'd probably have been a hit because, you know, all of you would have said, wait a minute, this is great, you know? But we didn't even have the traditional publicity platforms back then. So the movie came and went. And it remained mostly dead for about a decade until this new creation hit the road, which was called VHS, this new market. And people, and by the way, many of you, I'm sure, still have your VHS copies. I've been signing VHS, right?
Oh, yeah.
How many people still have? Awesome. I've been signing, Anthony, VHS copies for literally the last 25 years. You know? It's incredible. People show up sometimes with ones with tape, like fall out everywhere. This is the best copy we have, but please careful when you touch it. I need you to sign on this torn piece of corner right here. And so it's really beautiful. It's a beautiful thing that people feel very, you know, they're very attached to this film. So it really doesn't belong to us anymore. It really belongs to everybody. It's one of those beautiful things, you know. Anyway.
Absolutely, and it's one of my, no, not at all. It's one of my favorites. I know it's one of pretty much everybody in here's favorites. We've got a lot of people in here, I'm sure, that have a lot of questions.
Yes.
Here. So we've got a microphone set up down here in the front.
All right.
If you have questions for Cary, come on down and ask him, and he will answer them in his own amazing way.
I don't know about amazing, but I will
It'll be
answer.
amazing. It'll be fun and amazing, I promise.
Hi.
Hi.
You want to pull that down a little bit, or you can take it off the stand if you want. Or can someone help with that?
Here.
Or be a total success. Thank you. Hi.
I wondered if
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Terry.
Terry?
Terry, right.
Hi, Terry.
Hi. I wondered if you had seen the Congress with your co-star Robin Wright.
Have I what?
Seen the Congress.
The Congress. I have
Robin
not
Wright.
seen it yet. No,
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
She plays herself,
Right.
who sells the rights to everything about her to become digitalized.
Oh, really?
And she's not allowed to be an actress anymore because she can only be seen in the digitalized form.
Wow.
Would you ever do that?
No.
Okay. Good. It's a very good movie.
Thank you. But I look forward to seeing it. It sounds like a great idea. I mean, she's wonderful, obviously, so I'll watch her in anything. But yeah, thank you. Hi.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm very well, thank
Good.
you.
What's your name?
Aubrey.
Aubrey?
Uh-huh.
Hi.
So, I've heard you do every accent there is.
I can't do Lithuanian.
And you're,
Sorry.
and you're super, super fantastic at it. And I also noticed, hearing you speak casually, that you're kind of everywhere. And I wonder, no, you hear about
You
coming
sound
up.
like my wife when I lost my car keys.
I'm curious if, have you lost your original tongue, so to speak, because you're so good at doing all of that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is that related, I guess?
My mother still gives me, a hard time about it. When I moved to America, when I was about 18, I came to study in upstate New York in college, and I really never looked back because I just love this country. As a kid, even in England, growing up in England, having worked at PA and what have you, I couldn't wait to get here. This is where it's at. It's America, right? I mean, it's where it's at, okay? And so I couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait. All my favorite actors were from here. You know, I couldn't wait to get to New York to go study at the Actors Studio where my heroes had studied, Lee Strasberg, and I worked at the Lee Strasberg Institute, where Al Pacino had studied, where Marlon Brando had studied, and so I couldn't wait, right? So once I got to the States, back then, it was sort of 1982-ish is when I left college and started to work full-time as an actor, or tried to at any rate. There weren't that many roles for Brits in the industry. Now, of course, I mean, crikey, you have Brits playing Superman. What the heck is going on? Do you realize if an American tried to come play James Bond, there'd be riots in the streets? I mean, come on. There's a little weird dichotomy going on there. Anyway, so I had to, my first agent said to me, Cary, you need to start developing an American accent because there aren't that many roles for Brit. God bless you, but there really aren't. So I need you to start working on that, which I did. And you know, over the years, it's weird. This, as you say, it's everywhere now. It comes in and out depending on, and like if I'm talking to an English person, my English accent comes out. You know, and if I talk to a French person, my French accent comes out. I just don't know. It's like that.
Well, because you're really, really skilled.
Thank you. Thank you. I only do a French accent like that, which is totally ridiculous. Hi, how are you? Oh, hey, Pixie. How you doing?
Cary, I have a favor to ask you.
What is it, Pixie?
Can you tell your mother, thank you for raising such a wonderful person?
Wow. How do you follow that?
Little song.
Thank you, Pixie.
Hi, Cary.
Hi, how are you? What's your name?
Good. I'm Loretta.
Hi, Loretta.
Do you remember me?
Yes, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Very nice to see you. I have a million questions.
A million?
Yes. I will keep it on top. Of course I will. But I do have not only seen Shadow the Vampire, I own the VHS and the DVD and Dracula.
Wow.
I own actually all of your movies.
No way. You're serious?
I'm serious.
Wow, that's
Never
cool.
on Tuesday, Come Up
What?
with Villains, The
What?
Bride,
What?
Pentagon Wars,
OMG.
I
You have too much time in your hands.
do 27 years.
Holy moly.
did-
You own Octopussy?
No, but I will now. He was fired the first day. But I do own
I wasn't fired. No, let me correct you on
He
that.
was sent to
I was sent back to the production office
Yeah.
and banned from the set. But yes, I guess it's a form of firing.
Right. But I do own Superman, so
Yeah.
of course. Anyway, I'll keep it on the topic of the dark side.
Okay.
With both of your vampire movies. You work with, as you mentioned, incredible actors with Gary Oldman,
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins,
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe, and name it. Did you learn anything from any one of them?
Oh my gosh. Loretta, I learned, by the way, my life is so extraordinary in that.
Yes, it is.
It is. In that my line of work is a form of continual education. Every day I learn something.
Right.
I mean, I learn something even when I come to these events. I learn something about my life, about myself, about my work. You know, I'm learning a lot about some of the movies I didn't know about from fans here, you know. But yeah, no, I always make sure that I am open and in the moment and watching all the other actors around me and learning from them. I mean, you can, yeah, how fortunate am I that I got to work with some of the finest actors in the business. So my whole theory was, even on my days off, if I didn't have any scenes with these actors, I would show up and watch them anyway. Like on Glory, I would just show up and watch Denzel and Morgan, you know, just to learn, just to sit at the feet of the masters and learn from them, you know. So yeah, it's a continual. It's like it's my gift that keeps on giving for me, because I get to go and I get to play an astronaut. So I learned from Dave Scott how to be an astronaut, how to work you know, the command module, or I learned NASCAR racing from Dale Earnhardt. I mean, look at my life. It's incredible. It's incredible. So if I'm not learning a particular skill set for a role, or doing the research for a historical piece, which is half the fun for me, I'm learning from everyone on the crew, from the director on downwards. PAs, my God, I was one, so there's stuff to be learned there. And of course, from my fellow actors, always, always, yeah.
Wonderful, thank you. You're
Thank
a
you.
smart man for learning from them. That's
you.
why you're a great actor.
Hi, Cary.
Hi, how you doing? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. My name is Dane. I'm an
Yes.
aspiring filmmaker. I actually dabbled in German Expressionism myself.
Did you really?
I sure did.
I wrote a whole essay on Oscar Kokoschka
Oh, wow.
at, in college. So
Sweet.
yeah.
Well, my film's on YouTube if you want to see it. But
Oh,
anyway,
well, what's it called?
it's called Aeternus, Aeternus.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I have business cards if you're interested.
This is a very entrepreneurial young man. Give me a business card. Very funny. No, of course. Thank you. Cool. Thank you.
Anyway, well, first of all, one thing, thank you so much for being in one of the defining movies of my childhood, Liar Liar.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then two, obviously with Bram Stoker's Dracula, you and all of some of the finest actors in the business at that time were setting about making what me and a lot of literary people would consider the definitive version of Dracula.
Right.
So that means for you, obviously, a big task to, well, just, my question is, what was your relationship with Bram Stoker as far as the text, reinterpreting the text, making the definitive Arthur?
That's a very good question. So, for me, it all begins with the research in terms of creating any role. And, you know, when it comes to a specific, you know, novel like that, that's very well known and beloved, obviously, by many people. And here's Bram Stoker, whose house I visited in Dublin, by the way. That's how much I got into it. Yeah, at first I go to the text to learn as much as I can from that. But I put a lot of faith also in Francis. I mean, he's no slouch of a filmmaker, you know, and he, as part of this whole theater camp that we had up in Napa, he said, okay, I'm gonna give you all the books that I looked at for research for this film. And he had like a table about 4 times the length of this one. And laid out was every single book with all his notations of every book that he'd read and studied, from Victorian England to, you know, absinthe. I mean, the detail of this man was extraordinary. So he had like an open library for us to go and, you know, share these books with each other and study them. I don't think there was the internet back then, so we didn't really have Google or stuff like that to work with. And he had this other huge library on the property, which had a ton of other things in it, like old movies that he was watching and using as reference. So he said, okay, here are the films that I studied to look at, that I want to get the vibe from. And he had a real interest in, let's see if I can remember, I think he had us watch Vincent Price in some films. I don't know why, but they were very strange and interesting. And The Red Shoes, I think, was one of them. What else? Nosferatu, of course. And there were a whole bunch of movies that he wanted us to look at to get into the feel of it. Oh, another one was Chimes at Midnight, which is an Orson Welles movie. And yeah, so, I mean, the research available to us was extraordinary, because that's how Francis works. He's very detail-oriented, and obviously, so we all had a ton of things at our fingertips to use. And for Arthur, I really just relied on the text. You know, there's a fantastic story about, you know, these 3 suitors who try and compete for the love of this one woman, and end up getting caught up in this journey of trying to track down and kill, you know, the most famous vampire of all time, you know. And we did a lot of rehearsal, By the time we got to shoot the film, Francis had shot every single piece of rehearsal on digital film with his DP, and figured out every angle and every shot that he wanted to use. So that by the time we came to shoot the movie, it was like second nature to us. He really didn't have to give us that many notes, and so anything that we discovered on the day was sort of like icing on the cake, you know. And it kept the schedule to a minimum, because Francis, you know, he wanted to keep this budget, as I say. He didn't want to use any CGI. He wanted all the effects to be in-house. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun that way, yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hi, Cary. My name is Jack. How are you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. My question is, my friends and I, growing up, we were huge fans of Saw 1. You know, and with each subsequent release, we were always, you know, you were the biggest you know, missing link as far as the movie went with us. We were just, you know, the loose thread. We were always speculating, like, what happened to Dr. Gordon? What happened?
Right.
Is he going to be in this? Is he going to be in this?
Yeah.
My question is, when were you made aware of Dr. Gordon's ultimate fate?